Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave,
And I'm the other host, Don.
and we are, we're going to talk. All right, here's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk some uh, news about Kang and the MCU, some rumors about future people showing up, but of course, we're going to also jump on that Fantastic Four hype train. Woo, woo! Hype this one up like we did Superman, and we shall
Worked
see.
before.
Um, so all that being said, how are you doing, Don?
I'm doing okay. A little bit sad. As some of our returning viewers may remember, a couple shows ago, I talked about the Black Sabbath final concert, Back to the
Yeah,
Beginning concert, and Black Sabbath was my favorite band, and uh, Ozzy, its lead singer, being like my favorite rock frontman. And unfortunately, we found out yesterday that he has passed on. There's even some talks of it even being an assisted suicide pact that he had with his wife Sharon Osbourne. I don't know about any of that, but what has kind of got my eyes rolling, and I'm trying to be not too negative Nancy on this one, but like, you know, I uh, I did a report on Ozzy Osbourne in the 11th grade because,
yeah,
like, everybody in my English class would tell, oh, he's a devil worshiper and Pete on the Alamo and blah, 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 blah. And so I did a report and I had proven everybody, like, I turned the whole class to my side, like, hey, Ozzy's not that bad. So fast forward, I'm a true fan, and it's just like, yeah, he died. That's sad, but yeah, now all of a sudden everybody, oh, look at all these fans popping up, and I just so that's all,
yeah.
but that's a cynical view of things, but I can't help myself.
No, and that's true. Whenever someone like this passes away, all of a sudden, all these fans pop out
Yeah,
of the woodwork. Um, I mean, it's sad. I can't say I can't say that I was a huge Black Sabbath fan, but I do appreciate their place in music history. If it wasn't for them, there's a lot of bands that wouldn't have existed. They obviously influenced a lot of great bands. And and I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying I hate them. I just like I was never like really into them. Like it's funny because
yeah.
my oldest brother, when we were younger, was really into them, and maybe that's part of the problem. It's like, oh,
Oh,
he likes
right.
them, so I don't like them.
Mm.
Um, possible, but yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
Anything else besides being sad over Ozzy?
That's it. Although, you all can use this out there if you ever want to bring out some really like crazy trivia about Black Sabbath. You can inform people like, yeah, they had two names prior to being called Black Sabbath. And do you want to know the very first name? Polka Talk Blues Band. It's absolutely true. Black Sabbath started as Polka Talk Blues Band. So there you go. Everyone have that. Dave, what about your week?
So far so good. Just some craziness at work the last couple days, but I think that's all calmed down now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, it was. I'll say this: it was weird. I'm working yesterday, and my girlfriend texted me. She's like, "I'm getting a bunch of notifications on my phone that Ozzy passed away." I'm like, she she
How
is
it goes.
not she is not an Ozzy Osbourne fan at all, which was weird. Um, so then that's when I picked up my phone and I looked. I'm like, oh yeah, he did. Um, yeah, I don't know because I saw an interview. There was this interview that was not too long before he passed. Well, not too long before the final concert, where he was saying like he was in agony all the time. He had this back surgery a few years
Yeah.
ago that's actually made things worse, and he completely regretted having it. He's like he couldn't even flip over at night without being in extreme pain. So there could be something to uh, him taking his own life. Hey, it's Timmy Jones watching us tonight. Hello, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Um, so yeah, and but yeah, other than that, just same old, same old. Went out with the girlfriend last night. Had a terrible dinner at Cheesecake Factory.
Oh,
Not the food was bad, just
oh,
terrible service. So
oh.
yeah, one of those. Um, how's my roomies? Yes, that's right, boys and girls. Tim Jones will be joining us when we go to New York Comic Con, and we're going to put him in a shoebox because he's small.
Yeah, yeah. No, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. I just, you foot the bill on that so far, and I got to come help you out. So, but
Oh yes, you do. Uh, but that's not on air types talk. Uh,
sure.
so yeah, and speaking of things that shouldn't be on air, here's our good friend Dark Don to tell you where you can find more superhero speak.
Darth Don here. And you must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated Gundog named Brie Lawson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
Please don't tell me I'm going to see Don in that robe at the foot of my bed. You might.
I'm
Tim.
Well, no, because I'm hoping to have better cosplay by then. But
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There you go.
Priorities may not happen, but that's a trench coat, not a robe. So
Yeah, this is true. This is true. So, but maybe you should bring it with you. Anyway,
we'll do something. Listen, it was $500 worth of cow back in 2001. So
wow.
I gotta get my before wife and kids.
Yeah.
So I gotta get some mileage out of it. Doesn't let me wear it much.
So before we get to the Marvel news, I actually was gonna create a little intro for this, because I think this is gonna be a new what you call it, segment on the show.
All right.
This is the Superman watch. As of this live stream, it has made 426.3 million worldwide. So it's still making money. People are still going to see it. It's dribs and drabs at this point, but we shall see next weekend.
Right. The real test is going to be bam. We got a Marvel movie out. So it's about to take some sort of punch. We'll see how good it tanks it or not.
Right. So yeah. But I guess before we talk about Marvel's future, we need to talk a little bit about Marvel's past.
Mm-hmm.
You brought this to. I had heard things here and there, and then you sent me this article. So apparently, Kevin Feige, the head of the MCU, sat down with Variety in a long tell-all type interview, and one of the things he stated in this interview is that they were planning to axe Kang before he got fired. That they felt that the enemy, the villain, wasn't as big as Thanos, and they wanted to go in a different direction, and were already having plans to bring in Doctor Doom before his legal problems, and then he got fired. I don't know what you think, but I'm calling bullshit. What do you
Okay,
think,
so you
Rod?
don't think he's telling? Okay, well here's what I think, but definitely I'll follow up with that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I actually believe him. Now I'm surprised that he had even admitted this. So it must have really been eating at him. But I believe him. And if he's true, it's a really bad look. I
Yeah.
appreciate them realizing, oh, you know what? Kang's really not that cool of a villain. Because he's really not. He's really not. He's a very convoluted. Again, my little joke of the show is like he's good for like, oh, look at this mess. It's Kang. Yeah, but that's it,
Which what he was in the comics for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Nathaniel Richards, so he's just got a crazy thing going. So I appreciate them knowing that, coming to that conclusion and pivoting. But this means that because listen, on my old show, Mega Level Nerds, with J100, we've discussed at length, like how badly screwed we thought Jonathan Major was. And that if you look at the case and look at what happened, like it was not, hey, he did violence against a woman, he did violence against his girlfriend. It's really, I mean, again, I'm looking at court evidence. Okay. Now he got screwed because just the whole man versus woman thing. So anyway, so I always thought he got screwed in the first place, but now to see that they decided to use that as a way to publicly pivot from Kang without saying, oh, you know what, we screwed up. No one cares about Kang. He was killed by ants. So we're just going to move along. Like they must really thought that was the best way to go. But either way, Jonathan Majors is a great actor, and he got screwed. I love Marvel. I like the movies. I love the movies. I love the cinematic universe. But just understand the whole woke, anti-woke, whatever the hell. This is not your moral compass. The people that make these movies and decide what happens to these universes. They're in it for the money. And to me, they've shown they're willing to take an unfortunate situation and use it to their advantage, help them with PR on their part. Now, with that said, you do not believe. Okay, so
No, I don't believe that was the plan. And there's several reasons for it. One, if it was the plan all along, it's one of the worst rolled out plans ever. Like, because they said, oh, we saw that people weren't responding to him, so we decided to pivot to what you call it, Doom. Okay. Then how come you didn't drop any hints of Doom before now? Like, there are plenty of ways that they could have thrown Doom Easter eggs in for people to go, oh, look, it's all connected. But they didn't, because they didn't have a plan. Because they even claim that they were talking to Robert Downey Jr. about being Doom back then as well. But so that's why I'm like, no, because if you really were going that route, you would have dropped, like, because what your plan would have been if you honestly were going to go like, no, the overarching enemy is going to be Doom. Okay, well, complete out the Kang dynasty to end his arc, but at the same time you have Doom growing in the background and build him up to be this villain like they did with Thanos. But no, like, they weren't doing anything. We might, we'll get to that a little bit later, we might be getting a glimpse at Doom in the Fantastic Four. But why did you wait so long? Because also remember, last month, I believe it was June, was when the Kang Dynasty was supposed to come out in the theater.
Yeah.
So that was completely scrapped. They didn't even start working. Like, they didn't film anything for that. So they could have at that point pivoted and started. No, I think there was once he got fired, they were scrambling. They said, okay, we do eventually want to bring in Doom. Like I'm saying, that's another thing. There's probably a kernel of truth to it in the fact that yes, they were planning to bring Doom in. I'm sure they were planning to bring Doom in since they bought Fox. Like, I guarantee this has been an idea for a long time. It's just after the legal troubles. Okay, now we're going to speed up the timeline. Like, but I don't think it was. Oh, we saw this coming and blah blah. I really don't, because the other reason I don't think it's true is they wouldn't have shown the Council of Kangs, I think, at the end of Quantumania. Like, that was a big thing, because that's like, oh, this is showing he is going to be a big problem because there's thousands of him. And how do you defeat an enemy where there's thousands of the same person who all want to like rule time and the multiverse? So, yeah, like, again, and that's the whole thing. He's the guy who basically they created the story where he's responsible for the timeline and the multiverse and all of this. And now all of a sudden Doom's going to come in and take over that storyline. Like, no, like, I think this is, he's trying to save face. And I, in my opinion, made it worse by saying this. But I mean, I could be wrong. I don't work at Marvel. I'm not part of those planning meetings, but
yeah,
I really think that's what happened is they were planning to bring him in, but they were forced to move it up because they had to fire Jonathan Majors. So, because it was such a mess. And, you know, they also keep saying, oh, Disney wanted us to do more shows, so we couldn't concentrate on the movies. Like, it's a multi-billion-dollar franchise. You could have been doing both, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see, but you know, as far as like you said, examining the past, you know, wow. I mean, just you know, I'll never sit there and think, oh, that Kevin Feige, he's such a good guy. You know, at this point, it's boiled down to okay, well, you know, at least he tries to keep continuity. You know, he's
true.
He believes in, you know, making them look like they actually look like in the comics.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Another thing that came out from him, I don't think it might have been in the same interview, is, you know, and I love the article because it was like, you know, fan favorites. Moon Knight and the Eternals will be returning to the MCU. Where and when has yet to be determined. Possibly in Doomsday, they might get a mention, or one of them might show up. But they are going to come back. They also mentioned Star Fox and a couple other like minor characters. So, what do you think? I don't think anyone wants the Eternals. I don't think they're a fan favorite. What do you think?
It's not happening with the Eternals.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, we might get another little season. We might get season 2, which I like the Moon Knight show.
Yeah.
You know, didn't have me rip roaring or nothing. And, you know, I'm definitely glad I got to watch it at home and not have to go to a theater.
Yeah.
But we already know that, you know, after Secret Wars, this whole universe is getting rebooted. So with all the work they have to do between now and then, what I don't see where either of those two properties or shows, movies, what have you, are coming to play at all. So I don't think I think Moon Knight might get a little something on Disney Plus, a show, which would be fine, probably very good. But Eternals, no one cares. No one wants it.
You know, you keep saying, "Oh, it's going to get rebooted and it's going to be an X-Men centric universe." I don't think you're going to get what you think you're getting, because first off, the idea is if they're doing the Secret Wars and like from the comics, the multiverse is going to be melded into one, and we're going to decide what characters are. They're going to make a decision on what characters still exist and which ones are gone, and then they're going to probably introduce new characters along the way too. So, like, it's not going to be like the Fox X-Men universe. The X-Men will be there and they'll be a big part of it, but it's not. I think we're still going to have Avengers running around. We're still going to have other heroes running around. It's not like it's going to be all X-Men all the time, because I don't know if people want that. I mean, we'll see. I know you want it. Of course you want it. You are the X-Men expert. But, like, do people really want a whole new rebooted X-Men universe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they do. I'm trying to think of, like, okay, how has Dave warped himself to believe, like, come on, think back to the 80s and 90s. Like, who, I don't know. And maybe this is just my world, which had a lot of, the X-Men were it, man. Like, the X-Men were Marvel Comics outside of Spider-Man, maybe a little
Right.
Captain America, the Hulk. That's it. It was X-Men. And honestly, from my point of view, the Avengers, they've had their run. It was a good run, actually, because there was Fox X-Men. There wasn't actually Marvel X-Men.
But you're acting like
had
they
a
can't,
good run.
You're acting like they can't coexist in the.
They most certainly they can, but the Avengers have to take a back seat. Sure, the Avengers exist. There's 5 heroes somewhere that work for, and I guess that's why I was never an Avengers, because I'm an Avengers guy, because I'm like, they work for the government for the most part, man. They're like government G-men, and I know that's not exactly true, but like the X-Men follow themselves for survival in their race. I don't know, man. But I remember you're a Spider-Man guy, so you sit up on the mountaintop, of Marvel heroes and judge all us plebeians.
Because I honestly think we're gonna go, and I don't want it, but they're gonna eventually get to X-Men versus Avengers. Like, I think that's where we're headed. I think it's gonna be mutants get introduced and the X-Men get sucked into the universe, and then they're not gonna get along with the Avengers, and then
I think we're gonna see that in Doomsday.
No.
I think we're gonna get our Avengers versus X-Men in Doomsday. That's what I think.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yep.
Maybe you guys tell us in the comments down below.
Yeah, who's right?
Who's right? And should we put a wager on this? Should we bet? Should we have some kind of bet? And it'll have to be something like the loser to be humiliated in the winner's chosen forum. I mean, we're
yeah,
like we're a year out from Doomsday, but we'll have to think about it. Let us know. Yeah. What do you think? Is it going to be X-Men versus Avengers in Doomsday, or is it going to be they're going to bring the X-Men in, and then later on we'll get that as a separate film? That's the question. Let us know. Let us know. What else did they tell us in this article? Oh, that there we go. The secondary lead in Doomsday. This is, I don't know how true this is. This is also a rumor. The secondary lead is going to be Chris Hemsworth's Thor. Which, I mean, my thought process was that Doom was the lead and Pedro Pascal would be the secondary as Mr. Fantastic. Or there's also rumors, I don't know how true it is, that it's actually Peter, Spider-Man. I mean, it makes sense from a Marvel standpoint, but not from a Doomsday standpoint. So unless they're not counting Robert Downey Jr. as a lead, but that doesn't make any sense, right? Do you want a Thor versus Doom movie?
I mean, yeah, because it's Dr. Doom and Thor, and I like the vulgar displays of power.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But I could also see this being true because we have to probably take Thor off the board somehow.
Yeah,
Before
that was my thought. Is this his swan song? Like, is this his out?
right,
He's gonna die in Doomsday, and this is his out. Maybe.
I don't think they're gonna do, or maybe he lives and he comes in as what is one of his like ultimate fucking like rune king Thor or some shit. I don't know. He gets all sorts of fucking crazy power ups. Maybe he comes back as the All Father. I don't know, but I think before we can do Secret Wars and have God Emperor Doom and all that shit, I think Thor and Loki will have to be taken off the board. And so Doomsday might really lean into that aspect. So it makes sense.
I keep wondering what they're going to do with Loki. Like, is Doom going to show up with him holding all the strands of the multiverse together and like pull him out of the throne, or like, how are they going to explain that? Like, they put Loki in a weird place and really haven't mentioned him since the end of the show.
Yeah.
But we know that he is in the movie. Like, that's been confirmed. So I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that and explain it in a way that's satisfying to nerds like us.
Come up with something. Because, DC's.
Uh-oh.
You out on me. Oh, am I blipping out on you?
Did we both blip out for a second?
Thanos blipped us. Oh, are we
back?
Yeah,
we're back. Yeah.
All right.
Wow, 5 years later.
Must that time travels. Hell, it was like 5 seconds to me, but
stream has been going for 5 years. It's amazing. Anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Other than we were talking about Loki too, how what's going to happen with that. We know he's going to in the movie, and I wonder if they think that's a mistake they made by making him the god of some or other stories or some shit.
God of stories. Yeah,
man. I mean, they got to come with it. I don't know. Knock our socks off. Make it make sense. So make it make you got away with a little bit in Endgame with your time travel bullshit, and I know we're 10 times kooky dukes from that, but keep it where it can make sense.
Can we say, after Secret Wars, no more time travel or multiverse?
That's what I'm hearing.
That's
what I'm hearing. It's
at least a phase.
Right. No, give us a good 10-year run, and then if you need to do some time travel shit, I mean, I don't know, time travel's different because X-Men, which again I think is going to be the prevalent property after Secret Wars, it's got cable and shit, so I don't know.
And I even said that, like, once they introduced time travel in the MCU, they opened a Pandora's box where, if something happens, people can just go, well, why can't they just time travel and fix it? I mean, that's why they tried to do the, like, oh, if you go back in the past, you can't change it because it's actually your future and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah, but then, in the Deadpool movies, they went back in the past and changed the future. So, like, and the X universe, Days of Future Past, they were able to affect the future by changing the past. So, right, and that's now all under this MCU. We're now saying that's just another reality. So they violated that rule in their own universe already. So it's just like, Don't do any more time travel. It was such a bad idea. Um,
But listen, they could be tempted because one of the more popular X-Men storyline is Jonathan Hickman's House of X Powers of 10, where it is revealed that Moira McTaggart is a mutant that when she dies, she um, basically resets the universe to her date of birth. Uh, so she's basically immortal, but she rebirths every time she dies, and the universe reboots with her. And that's 10 lives of Moira X. It's a whole crazy fucking thing. Yeah, X-Men does time travel in a number of different ways, and you're
yeah,
right, it does not mesh with what they've set up in the MCU.
no, not at all. Uh,
But that's
yeah,
comic books for you.
it is. Yeah, that's what one of the things people don't think about. It's like they've been around a long time and they've had to tell a lot of different stories, and they can trying to make that all fit and make sense to a wide audience is kind of tough. So, all right, well, we've done a lot of speculation. Now let's talk about the Fantastic Four. Let's talk about what we know, what we hope to see from the film, and what how we think it might affect the MCU. But first, I'm going to start with, of course, there have been previews already of the movie. A lot of rumors and things have leaked online, unfortunately, at this point. But over on Rotten Tomatoes, there's been 163 reviews from, actual reviewers, and it currently has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. So not bad, not the best, score in the world, but not bad.
Solid B.
A solid B, yes. Um,
Hmm.
and it has a predicted box office. I have that written down here of 110 million domestically and possibly in making another 100 million globally. So an opening weekend of 210 million, which is good. If we were in the early 2000s, that would be amazing.
Right.
But that's the prediction so far. Again, is it going to pull people away from Superman? Is it going to, make its money back? We don't know. We'll see. 210 isn't a bad opening, post COVID, but who knows if it'll actually make that? I mean, Superman was only predicted to make 170, and it made over 200 million in its opening weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So have you seen any of the leaked information? Any of the stuff there's people are saying about the movie? Are you trying to avoid all of that?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid all that. The only thing I've heard, and it's not spoilery at all, is that there are two end credit scenes. The first one matters a lot. The second one doesn't. But as far as particular plot points outside of what they themselves have shown us in the trailer, I don't know.
So yeah, I'll say that. So actually, apparently, both scenes have leaked online. Like someone filmed them and posted them, not just people describing them. I haven't seen them. I've read the descriptions, unfortunately. The one matches what we've already heard the scene was going to be. I don't know if you want me to say it or not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, the one is Sue is sitting there with Franklin Richards, and she puts him down and walks away for a minute. And she comes back, and Doom is standing there like over the baby, and like that's it. Like that's basically the whole scene.
Okay.
The second one, like you said, they said it isn't important. It's an animated thing of like the Fantastic Four fighting some random villains. I'm gonna guess because they mentioned there's an animated series. I'm gonna guess it's supposed to be a scene from that quote unquote animated series. So what I will say about that as well is I have heard that before in the past, when Marvel has uh, previewed movies, they either A, don't have any of the end credit scenes, or B, they have them, but then what they show in the previews changes. Like they're not what's released. Like people don't realize that, obviously the most famous after credit scene of let me tell you about the Avengers initiative was literally filmed like a day or two before the movie was released and attached to the movie as it was being sent out to the
Yeah.
so like it wasn't a planned thing. They were just kind of like, oh, let's do this. So there is still a possibility that they're going to go, oh, you know what, this would be cooler, let's film a little scene, you know maybe we'll get an after credit scene of Kang and Doom hanging outside.
Unlikely.
But yeah, and also I keep going back to what I said on Sunday. My girlfriend's oldest is like, they've shown so much about this movie, like all the plot points. Like, I don't know if I want to see it because I feel like there aren't going to be any surprises. Um, you know, like we like, and it's funny because I did see a clip, of Mr. Fantastic climbing up like a tower using his powers, because that's another thing someone pointed out. Like in all the trailers, the official trailers and stuff, we never saw him use his powers, but somehow this clip got posted online where you could finally see him because he's stretching his arms to climb the tower really fast, his
Yeah.
arms and legs, and then he's fighting some kind of, I think it looks like one of the mole men, and he like stretches back and then like shoot kicks him. So I'm feeling there's going to be some kind of montage of them like fighting villains in the movie, and this is probably part of that. So it was like, yeah, why like I've said this before, Mr. Fantastic, it's hard to make his powers look real and cool at the same time. It's been a struggle in every Fantastic Four movie that's ever been made.
Well, it's a struggle in the comics. Have you ever looked at a panel and said, oh boy, that Reed Richards looks cool there with the little squiggly neck in his head at the end? You've never, no one's ever thought, oh man, that Reed Richards, that looks cool shit. No, that's Human Torch and Thing's job. But one of the things, now that you kind of reminded me though, was saying like, we haven't seen him use his powers in the trailers. Well, one of the things I did hear from a reviewer is that the CGI looks way better in the finished product than it did in the trailer. I mean, and it's completely different to the point to where that scene that we've seen where Johnny Storm is flying with Ben Grimm and he's trying, hey, say it, say the clobbering time. Well, in the trailers, we've seen, it's like we don't. He's himself, without his flame, but in the actual movie, he's fully flamed up in that scene. So like, there's definitely added and improved CGI that is present in the final product that we've not seen in the trailers. And they've done that before too, when it was some shit, the Hulk or something, instead of the Hulk Buster in one of the scenes. Like, they do that. But yeah, I just reminded me of that you're right. We probably haven't polished that yet. Well, now they have, because it's going to be released tomorrow. But
right.
Yeah, trailers did not have the final product, obviously.
Do you think this is a big stretch, but I kind of want to ask, do you think we will get the Watcher in this movie?
No, I don't. I do not. Boy, I mean, I would be disappointed, because that's kind of the thing that has never set well with me, as well as a lot of comic fans. That Reed Richards beat Galactus with a remote controller that he got from the Watcher. Like, that's pretty fucking lame. It's called the Ultimate Nullifier.
The Ultimate Nullifier,
which is a dumb name. I mean, I guess apt descriptor, but yeah, no, I don't want them to do that at all. No, I'd rather, which I think they're going this route. Again, if anyone can like challenge Galactus, it is Franklin Richards. In fact, there are universes in the comics where Franklin Richards uses Galactus as an attack dog, basically. So I hope I'm right there. Because no, I don't want Uatu in his dumb ultimate nullifier.
Well, I don't know. Franklin Richards is a baby in the movie, so I don't see him defeating Galactus. Like,
Well, not yet, right? Hence why he probably wants him, though.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I part of me wants maybe not the Watcher to actually be in them, have like the kind of role he did in the actual comic. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you should read the original Fantastic Four story where they introduced Galactus. But yeah, that's Don already said it. That's how they defeat him in the comic. The Watcher shows up. So I believe that's the first time the Watcher was also used in the comics. And he gives Reed Richards the ultimate nullifier, and that is what defeats Galactus. So, but to like have him in the background as the Watcher might be cool. Maybe not actually get involved. Maybe be the Watcher like he's supposed to be, and just maybe do some narration over it. Like you get in comics, you get your little bubbles to tell you what's going on.
I think if we see him, it'll just be like his silhouette in the sky or some shit like they've already done before,
probably.
But
you're not wrong.
We don't know. We'll know in a couple days.
Do you what do you think they have to get right to make this a good movie?
They have to get the characters of Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm correct. Notice I did not call them by their code names because I think that they need to sell us on the people, the characters, not just their powers and whatever they concoct for the story here. So I think they really have got to nail the family aspect. Again, make us feel like we did for Superman, where man, I sympathize with this guy. So I think they have to have great character development.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is the key. Like, you have to believe that this is a family, right?
Right.
Like, and that they truly care for each other. That's the thing that the fan four stick got completely wrong. Was they didn't even seem to care about each other at all. They were all just hired guns working for the government to create this portal thing, and end up going to another world, and then end up creating Doctor Doom. And I mean, the whole movie's garbage, but like,
swirly metallic Doctor Doom,
But like, that's the worst aspect of it. Like, Ben gets sent off to be a weapon for the government, and like none of them care. He's just gone, for
that was the worst, because I actually went to theaters to see that movie.
I'm sorry.
And I did so because my son at the time was really into The Thing. So like, hey buddy, you want to see that movie? See The Thing? Oh yeah, I want to see The Thing. And yeah, we're sitting down to watch the fucking movie. And yeah, they're just sending The Thing into these battlefields where he's just murdering helpless soldiers. I mean, compared to him, they're helpless anyway. So yeah, that was definitely the most grievous of sins for that movie.
I think that's one of the things that the what the 2005 movie got wrong as well is the Thing, in the sense of like the whole story was for both films, the Rise of the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four, that the Thing is a monster and he just wants to like be human again, and like that's all that's all Reed is concerned with is curing his friend of this, being a rock monster. And yet I will say that I think that's one of the things that you see in the trailer, him walking down Clancy Street and people going, "Hey Ben, hey big, old blue eyes," or whatever they're saying. Say the thing. Like he's just Ben Grimm walking around. He happens to be Rocky, but he's just the Clancy Street gang, like that. All of that stuff from the comics, like that Stan Lee wrote about the Thing, like is important. And I feel like, I hope it's not just like a scene in the trailer and it didn't make the final cut, or it's just that one little bit. Like I hope they do get that tone right with him, with all the characters. Do you think we're going to see their origin? I mean, I know there's clips of them that we've seen where they're like still human, but I kind of feel like that's going to be like film that they're watching or flashbacks. Like I think they're going to be the Fantastic Four already at the start of the movie. What do you think?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get a little 1960s vignette, about the Fantastic Four. Back in 19 whatever, they launched into space and were hit by radioactive waves. I'm sure we're gonna get our 5 to 6 minute little explanation, but then we're gonna hit the ground running.
Okay, yeah. Any and again, I do feel like, because we definitely go from them finding out she's pregnant to Franklin is in the movie, right? Like that's unfortunately that's all been revealed, because there's a scene of them saying, "Oh yeah, I'm pregnant," and then we know Galactus wants the baby. That was revealed. They showed Franklin in the last trailer as a baby, so we know that. Let's put it this way: we know the movie is at least 9 months, worth of film, and I feel like they're going to do montages to show the passage of time. Is there anything like? Are there any villains? And I know it might be hard for you to answer because you're not, probably not a big Fantastic Four comic reader. I don't think I am. But are there any like cameo villains you'd like to see them fight? Like the Mole Men or anything like that.
I think we're gonna see that. I think we're gonna see that that iconic cover become some sort of scene in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially since we're talking about them doing these like, montages of, the Fantastic Four. So that would definitely be it though, but I think it's gonna happen. And you're right, as far as like Fantastic Four villains, Doctor Doom is really it. I couldn't even name any other Fantastic Four villains. So,
well, the big ones are, let's see, like Claw, which obviously we're not going to get.
You know what? No, that would be cool if we could get another Andy Serkis Claw in their universe. That would be cool.
Okay. The Super Skrull.
Like I want him to have the whole cup on his hand and everything, not some like cool nanotech shit. Like have him have like the big fucking disc on his that he's shooting his Sonic shit with.
Okay. So Molecule Man. That's one that they could cameo, because I don't think anyone cares about Molecule Man. Kang.
Yeah, but if they do that, that's I don't know. I'll be insulted if they do that.
Okay. Of course, Doom, Galactus, and Kang are like 3 of their biggest villains from the comics.
Right.
Like Mole Man, Molecule Man, Mad Thinker, It's like been the Beyonder. They're not going to do the Beyonder in a quick shot. So yeah, I think Puppet Master. Okay, Puppet Master, Mad Thinker, Mole Man.
Oh, he'll get
probably,
a cameo, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think. We'll get like the villains like that where they're not going to do full out movies or whatever for them. So they'll get their quick like Bertok the Leaper in Winter Soldier, right? Like we got the fight with him at the beginning of the movie on the boat, right? Because
Yeah.
he's a weird offshoot Captain America villain, and they need like, and I appreciate when they do that. Like it's funny when you can have, because we're not going to get 20 movies, 30 movies with the Fantastic Four. We'll get 2-3 movies maybe. So, but they're villains people want to see, and they've done it here and there in the MCU, and I think like you need to do that. You need to have cameos from other villains that aren't going to ever be major villains to show the heroes doing their job as heroes and give the fans something that they want to see. And I kind of hope they do that in this. So we'll see. Wow.
I mean, I hope they do really focus on giving particularly Fantastic Four fans like what they want to see, what they've kind of been robbed of, from the Fox movies and whatnot. Kind of like I'm hoping with the X-Men, I guess. So, I hope they truly get their experience. And I also wonder if, because obviously they revealed already, and we've talked about like, man, why are they revealing everything in these trailers? I wonder if they're not, and if we're kind of getting thrown off by the fact that they have revealed Franklin Richards, and maybe they'll actually also in some way introduce Valeria Richards.
Yeah.
They could throw us off that way. So that would be cool.
True. We'll see. Maybe we'll find out she's pregnant at the end of the movie. So, we're getting we're at 52 minutes, and we've been talking about this for a while. So let me ask, what is something that could possibly ruin this movie for you?
It's going to be the inverse of what I said. I'd really, what they really need to nail down, which is if this family is not believable, the actors don't have chemistry. If it really just comes down to plot points and power porn, like I said, seeing Galactus is going to be cool.
Yeah.
They've already granted it. We know we're going to get that wish granted. But yeah, if those 4 main characters lack heart, chemistry, and are not a believable family, it's going to fall flat.
I agree. I don't think they're going to screw that up, though. I don't. I think what would ruin it for me I don't know how to say this, if Galactus doesn't come off as believable, right? Because he's come on. Let's be honest. It's going to be a hard sell, especially to normies. And I know he's not going to look goofy. He's not going to be pink and purple. Look like a guy just in a giant guy in a pink and a purple costume. Like he will, but he won't. But because the thing is, like, we've seen clips where you see his foot walk. Because I mean, Galactus can shrink down, right? Like he can shrink down to walk around in the planet. So like, I don't know how they're going to do it. I have faith that it's going to look cool, but if it doesn't, as long as he's not a cloud in the sky, but
right.
But if it's going to be tough to pull off, and if they don't pull it off, it's going to be like, it's going to feel like a letdown, right? Because you shot your wad with your first Fantastic Four movie with Galactus, and if you don't stick the landing with it, it's going to be a hard sell. So where it's like you could have done Doctor Doom as the first villain and introduced Robert Downey Jr. in that way, but no, they went with Galactus. Because it wasn't the plan all along. That's why they're going with Galactus, because if they were planning to bring in Doom all along, he would have been the villain in the movie. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're on thin ice here.
I know. All right. Well, before the ice breaks, let's ask that question we do in every show.
What do we learn on the show tonight?
What do you got, Don? Or you have any recommendations for us?
I learned that Tim Jones, writer and artist, cartoonist for Sour Grapes, thinks that Darth Don's trench coat is a robe. So there's that. And as far as recommendations, I don't know, man. I'm so busy that I am not watching Dick right now. Outside of superhero movies in theaters, once a week. Go see Superman again. There you go.
Okay. Well, I learned two things: that you are willing to believe Kevin Feige, no matter what he says to us, and, and that you're so delusional over the X-Men, you think they're going to abandon all other characters once they bring the X-Men in the MCU. We're going to be like, screw Spider-Man, screw Captain America, screw Thor. It's all Wolverine and the White Queen and Professor X 24/7. That's it. All the other people go jump in the lake.
All right. I guess so. Maybe I am delusional.
I have a couple recommendations for you right
Good.
now. First, I'm going to recommend, if you haven't done so yet, click the like button, hit that subscribe, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Wednesday and Sunday nights. If you haven't done so yet, go check out our merch store. The link is in the description below. Get yourself a Superhero Speak t-shirt today. They're wonderful. Don't forget to check out superheroespeak.com. Yes, the podcast has been it's back up. I have posted the last 2 episodes. I will keep going with it as long as I can and as long as I have time. So yeah, go check it out. I'm going to try to get some more stuff on the website, get that going again, and go see Fantastic Four this weekend, because that is what we will be talking about on Sunday. We will be rating and reviewing it, and we'll see what we think. Hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed. On that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape caught in the door. See you next time. Oh, I gotta.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting for? Visit our merch store. But before you click away, subscribe to our show today.